with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. Broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got you for the next 25 or 30 minutes, and it is a Friday, everybody. So we are getting you ready for the weekend, June 20th, 2025, and we are ready here for the beach. We come to you on location, Long Beach Island, New Jersey, our second time in as many days broadcasting from the beach for the people. This is my escape. This is my need to go somewhere and get away from it all. But we love the Rome Show so much, we still broadcast live, even when we're on location. You want to get in on the action. The Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, all of the social media sites. Just follow the show. It's in your bottom left-hand corner if it makes your life easy. The mothership, 12OZ Sports, all the sites, most specifically YouTube and X, because those two are our primary broadcast locations. We'll be talking Game 6 of the NBA Finals as the Indiana Pacers force Game 7 with a dominant victory over OKC last night, 108-91. That's where we'll start our journey today. Then we got to talk a little Paul Skenes. Saw some stats on him yesterday, and I'm like, damn. This is what the stats are on Paul Skenes right now through the first year and a half of his major league career. That's wild. Saw an unreal golf stat as well. And then, as we always do on a Friday, we finish with
What watching?
So we get you ready for the weekend. So let's start in the National Basketball Association. Last night, the Indiana Pacers forced a Game 7 in the finals, defeating the Oklahoma City Thunder by a score of 108-91. Really, for all intents and purposes, this game was not close once you started the second quarter and beyond. In the first quarter, Indiana was up by 3, and that's when they took over. They outscored OKC over the next 2 quarters of basketball by a total of 27 points. They outscored them 36-17 in the second quarter and 26-18 in the third quarter. We told you on yesterday's show, if you missed it, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, we told you that one of the keys outside of just Halliburton's leg, how is he going to play and can he be better? But the other main key was, regardless if Halliburton's 100% or he's 50%, outside of Siakam and him, who are you relying on consistently if you're the Indiana Pacers? We spoke about that on yesterday's show. Well, last night, multiple dudes showed up for the Pacers when they needed it. Most specifically, Obi Toppin, okay, TJ McConnell, and Andrew Nebhard. All 3 fantastic games. Obi Toppin led all Pacers scorers with 20 points and 6 rebounds off the bench in just 23 minutes. All series, Oklahoma City's bench has outplayed the Pacers' bench except for last night, okay? You had, doing the quick math here, 45 points scored by the Pacers bench last night. And not that scored by the Thunder. And their bench played a lot of minutes last night because they were down by a good amount. But it was led by Obi Toppin with his 20. Nebhard had 17. TJ McConnell not only had 12 points, but he also had 9 rebounds, 4 steals, and 6 assists. I saw a great stat. It's like his third time with 10 points and 5 assists or more coming off the bench in an NBA Finals. It's like the most all time. And that's the 3 TJ McConnell has in this series alone. Those 3 dudes plus Benedict Mathurin. Okay. Excuse me. No, I read that wrong. Those 3 dudes, can't read your own handwriting sometimes, combined for 49 points for the Pacers last night. Then you add the 16 and the 14 from Siakam for a total of 30. And those 5 players right there combined for 79 points. Okay. That's the recipe right there for this Indiana Pacers team. That's the recipe to beat this great of a defense in Oklahoma City. You cannot have, as we stated yesterday, a Pascal Siakam and a 82% Tyrese Halliburton as your primary scorers on every single game, most specifically in games 5, game 6, and game 7, because that was the scenario at hand. Halliburton not 100%. Clearly, Siakam has been your best and most consistent scorer on a night in and night out basis during this playoffs, and furthermore into the finals. Who else was it going to be? We asked yesterday about Obi Toppin and Naismith, and we got in return Toppin, Nebhard, and McConnell. Huge for the Pacers. For OKC, it's just a flat game. There's no other way to put it, okay? And you always talk about the secondary players showing up on the road comparative to at home. There's a really common adage, especially in these 7-game series type sports, where your bench or your secondary players, insert your not Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Halliburton, SGA, right? Your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th option, your not as consistent of a scorer option, your not as consistent of player options, generally don't play as well on the road as at home. Okay? This was an OKC team that was kind of proving that wrong. They're averaging over 30 a game coming off the bench. And there's been a numerous amounts of dudes outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that have helped lead this team, including in game 5, Jalen Williams having 40, game 5, Jalen Williams having 27. Well, Jalen Williams had 16 last night and was not good. 6 of 13 from the field. And you only had 21 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So if a team's able to shut down SGA to the point of him just being a really good player and not a superstar player, again, same rules apply. The difference for this Thunder team, though, is you've had dudes show up way more than they had last night. Okay, Chet Holmgren was 2 of 9 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3. Jalen Williams, 0 of 4 from 3. Last night, the Thunder shot 26% from beyond the arc. That's not okay. In this series, they're terrible from beyond the arc. Overall, during the year, that is not a strong suit for them. But if you're not going to be able to move the basketball, hit high percentage shots from inside the arc at a consistent rate, and at least turn the Pacers into a one-dimensional team, not a multi-dimensional team, it's going to be very hard to win. All right? You're the Oklahoma City Thunder winning in the NBA today, an NBA that is dominated by the three-pointer, dominated by the long ball. You're winning being great at the mid-range, being great in the paint, being great at the free throw line. It's like kicking it old school with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And it's fire. It's fire. The only problem is you can't have your bench have their worst game, be your worst three-point shooting game, one of the worst three-point shooting games, not a great defensive game, and your flattest energy. That just can't all happen in game 6 on the road, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, chance to win an NBA title. That just can't happen. And now we go to Sunday for a game 7, and we shall see what happens because we're in Oklahoma City, but both teams have shown the ability to win on the road. And this Pacers team has shown the ability to defy odds. Okay. So I was on yesterday saying, man, it just feels like the Pacers are going to lose this series and we're going to be like, man, maybe they weren't as close as we thought. And that could still happen. And I've been saying 7 games from the jump. Okay. I have been, though I thought it could end last night because I didn't really believe in the health of Halliburton, et cetera, et cetera. But they've defied the odds all year. So we shall see. But something weird about this series is it's like a few of the games are close by score nature. Okay. Game number 1, 111 to 110. And game number 4, 111 to 104. After that, they're like blowouts. It's wild. Like the average victory is by like 10 or more points in all of the 9.5 points or more. And like all of the wins for each side minus games 1, games 4. It's wild. So as much as you could possibly see the tightest game 7 of all time when we come back together on Sunday for this, is as likely as you could see the Thunder win 127 to 92 or the Pacers win 111 to 86. It's that type of series. And it begs the question on the Rome Show here, 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Follow the mothership, follow the social media. It begs the question, are the NBA playoffs too long? Because when I was watching the game last night, and obviously midway through the third quarter, especially early in the fourth quarter, even though this has been a group of teams or 2 teams that have shown the ability to come back from reckless scores, it never once felt like, especially in the second half of that game, OKC ever had a chance to win. So I'm like, all right, let's go look at and see when this game 7 is. Sunday? I got to wait essentially 3 more full days and I got to watch it on a Sunday? I mean, come on, man. Give it to me on a Saturday. Okay. And then I thought even further and I'm like, how long are these playoffs? Okay. I saw a tweet the other day about it as well. And it's like, man, it's really hard to stay this invested through the postseason with your favorite team for over 2 months. The NBA postseason started on April 16th. And the final potential game date, which is now officially a game date, is June 22nd. Okay? 8.5 weeks worth of playoff basketball. Okay? That's a long time. And at first, well, always I'm like, man, the NBA playoffs are way too long. And they are. They're the longest one. That's a fact. And then you add the play-in tournament to it. It's like, man, there really are 2 seasons in the NBA. Why don't we just cut the regular season 12 games? Make it a 70-game regular season, and then you can keep the playoff format the same. I think that would almost be better. But 8.5 weeks, staying fully vested in your team on the wins, on the losses, on the injuries, on the bad decisions, on the good decisions, that's tough. That is tough. So I took a look at every league, all 4 professional leagues, NHL, NFL, and MLB alongside the NBA. The NHL is the closest league to the National Basketball Association, operating this year at exactly 8 weeks worth of postseason. The NHL playoffs started on April 19th and ended on June 20th. June 21st, I believe tomorrow could have possibly been game 7, or today could have possibly been game 7. No, yeah, June 20th. That's today. That would have been the last possible date. So the longest it could have gone is 8 total weeks. In comparison, okay, the NFL is barely 4 weeks of a postseason. And Major League Baseball, despite how long the season is, Major League Baseball postseason only lasts 3.5 weeks. 3.5 weeks. That's it. Okay? And there's reasonings for this. How often do you play back-to-back? Like baseball is a back-to-back sport. Like there are times you might play 16 days in a row in baseball, and presumably that's okay. Whereas in hockey, that's not okay at all. And in basketball, I don't think it's okay, but I think there's a middle ground. It makes sense to me that hockey is the longest postseason. It's the most grueling in terms of a sport that has a series that you have to win, but the toll and the effect on the body. And I'm not saying basketball is not grueling, but we prima donna these basketball players more than we don't, with how many times we do 2 days off before another game, which leads to the postseason lasting so long. I think that there's something there, especially with basketball. Like hockey is not as popular of a regular season sport where the common regular, not that into hockey fan will watch the postseason because history says that's the best hockey to watch. You got to watch the postseason. Whereas in the NBA, I feel like you kind of with the fanship get to a point of like, all right, when are we going to get here? Okay, this has been going on for a while now. When are we getting to X? When are we getting to Y? And if one of the bigger teams, the bigger names aren't in the finals, it's not good for the sport. And right now that's actually happening despite my interest level in the series or a regular basketball fan's interest. SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, OKC, Indiana, despite their records or whatever, that's not a sexy matchup for the National Basketball Association. Now, New York Knicks, Golden State Warriors, sexy matchup for the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers, sexy matchup for the National Basketball Association. Okay? So, I don't know the full answer outside of condense. I don't think we need as many days off. Like, I think if you could make the NBA playoffs end a week earlier, you even have a different feel. You might not lose as much interest. But like, for example, today, tomorrow, and Sunday are fully dominated by so many sports right now. I mean, you're in the midst of golf. You're in the midst of NASCAR. You're in the midst of baseball. You're in the midst of College Baseball World Series, which I think a lot of people enjoy watching, but it's also main viewership for ESPN scheduling. All of these things come into factor. All of these things come into play. And when I saw that tweet the other day, I was like, this question is valid. Are the NBA playoffs too long? And are the NHL playoffs too long? I don't know if there's anything you can do in the National Hockey League. Like I said, based on the type of sport it is, the impact on the body, X, Y, and Z. But in the National Basketball Association, I think it's a twofold. Let's do that to the regular season too. Let's condense that to 70 games. Okay? And let's do the first round as a best of 5. Okay, then we go from there. Since you added the play-in, first round, best of 5. That's what baseball does. It gets longer as the postseason goes in terms of how long the series is. This show is only 30 minutes long. So I got to take a quick commercial break. We got to pay the bills. When we get back, I got some stats on you from Paul Skenes, some stats on you from the U.S. Open, which will blow your mind, and what you're watching.
What you watching
This weekend, I got 2 really good ones for you. Now a third because Indiana and OKC are playing a game 7. I'm on the radio here on the Rome Show, 12 OZ Sports. Back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
It's the Rome Show!
Yeah. The Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube and X. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. A few more minutes left in the program, and we hope you're enjoying it on this June 20th, 2025 Friday. It's a
What you watching?
Friday. We'll give you that in about 5 minutes. Stay with us right here. But first, coming out of the commercial break, we want to talk a little bit of Paul Skenes. Clearly the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now, arguably the best player in Major League Baseball right now. But that's a whole nother show if you want to have the conversation about whether or not a pitcher can be considered the best overall player in baseball because they don't play every day. It's like the Cy Young versus most valuable player. And if it's, can the same person win it like Verlander did? Is that okay? Again, whole nother show. But Paul Skenes is in that conversation, okay? Because he's that good, okay? But the team he's on is that not good. And I think it's a problem, okay? And I'm not also the person that like, all right, we got to get all the best players, the 5 best teams in the league. I don't want that either. I want parity. I want the Kansas City Royals in the playoffs. I like when the Pittsburgh Pirates are good. It's cool to me when the Miami Marlins or the Detroit Tigers or the Chicago White Sox have a good season. I don't like when the Colorado Rockies are atrocious or the Oakland A's have to move to Las Vegas but look like a minor league franchise for the 3 years leading up to it. That, to me, doesn't look good for baseball. It's not fun for fanship, and I'm not down with it. So parity, to me, is super important. And this Paul Skenes situation, a second coming of the Jacob deGrom situation with the Mets 10 years ago, is a real problem for Major League Baseball. And now we have to answer questions because we cannot keep having these elite level players come to the Major League Baseball, be the best player in the league, be like, I got to watch him type stuff, and be on a team that is not committed to winning. And also, we can't keep this cycle of we're going to get great players on like 5 to 10 teams in the league who will play for them for 5 to 6 years and then move on. Can we make it so that there's financials available and an evenness for the Pirates comparative to the Yankees? No. But can we make a salary cap? Can we instill rules inside the spending of the league that can make it more close? Yes. Because we've watched it in every other league, okay? And when you look at Paul Skenes, that is the prime example right there. Now, in 38 games, Paul Skenes is 15-9. Okay, you might say, oh, that's not bad. Well, listen to this. In the 15 wins, he has a 1.19 ERA. Reckless. In the losses, in 23 losses, he has a 2.33 ERA, but it gets better. Okay. How about this WTF stat for the people? If the Pittsburgh Pirates in Paul Skenes' 38 starts during his Major League Baseball career could have just scored a minimum of 4 runs in every start, Paul Skenes' record would be 26-1. 26-1. Yeah. He's 15-9. He would be 26-1. Are you kidding me? The dude is clearly the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's clearly going to win the Cy Young Award. He's clearly not going to be a Pittsburgh Pirate for the rest of his career. We're already having conversations about him being traded because they won't be able to pay him and keep him long term. How terrible is that for a franchise? How terrible is that for a fan? And I think how terrible is that for Major League Baseball? So Paul Skenes, electric. You got a chance to watch a Pirates game when he's starting? Do it. The Pirates are in town to watch your away team? Do it. But this is a greater conversation than how good Paul Skenes is compared to how bad the Pirates are. It's a greater conversation. And what's the future of this topic in Major League Baseball? Because for as long as my lifetime, it's been trending this way. It's been trending towards suffocating out teams that can't match the top 10 teams in the league in terms of financial pay. It's been trending that way. And this one, as fun as it is to watch from the baseball standpoint, is difficult to watch from the fan standpoint. It is. And it really does mirror Jacob deGrom on the Mets. Finally, I told you I had a wild stat for you before we got out of here. How about this? Okay. Over the weekend, or last weekend, excuse me, there was a lot of talk about how difficult Oakmont Golf Club was. And the U.S. Open proved that with only one person being under par. And that was the person that won the tournament at -1 in JJ Spawn. So I saw a stat yesterday and I was like, dang, this absolutely depicts how hard Oakmont is, because Augusta National, where the Masters is held every year, is widely regarded as the hardest putting surface in professional golf. Well, at the Masters this year in April, there were 238 three putts total. Okay. For those that are not huge on golf out there, a three putt would be you make it onto the green and it takes you 3 hits from there to make it into the hole. A golfer's worst nightmare. There's nothing worse, I think, on a course than three putting, especially from a distance that should never be a three putt. But I digress. So 238 three putts at Augusta this year. At the U.S. Open at Oakmont, there were, are you ready for this? 536 three putts. 536 three putts at Oakmont. 298 more. 298 more three putts in a 4-day tournament than what is presumed as like the best golf course, hardest golf course, difficult golf course, whatever. Insert all adjectives here into Augusta. How wild is that? As I've said since before that tournament started, that is the type of golf that I like to see. I love watching these dudes struggle like we struggle every time that we're on the course. I'm not going to struggle giving you what you need to be watching this weekend. Hit the music. All right. I got 3 for you this weekend. That's not it.
What you watching?
Oh, good question, Andrew. First and foremost, I am watching baseball. 2 forms of baseball. First, the New York Metropolitans and the Philadelphia Phillies. It has not been a good run for the Mets as of late, and it hasn't necessarily been a great year or a year up to standards for the Philadelphia Phillies, but they've been playing better as late. The Mets have lost 6 straight. 6 straight. Yeah, that's not good. And now they are tied with the Phillies for first place, who have streaked the other way and are 8-2 in their last 12. Well, they match up tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday in a 3-game series. So first and foremost, if you're going to ask me this weekend, what
you watching?
I'm watching, it's going to be the Mets versus the Phillies for 2 reasons. Who's going to be in first place in the NL East after this? And can the Mets turn this ship around? But secondly, in terms of what I am watching in baseball, that would be the College World Series. You got Coastal Carolina versus Louisiana State University, commonly known as LSU. The tale of 2 tapes here, okay? Coastal Carolina, as people believe, is a quote unquote underdog, not a Power 4 conference team, but they are a team that has been there before. They've won 26 straight games. I don't care what conference you play in. It is hard to win 26 straight games. But on top of that, they've been here before. This is a second time to the College World Series team in the last 8 years. And by the way, they won that College World Series. So they're 1 for 1 in showing up in Omaha and winning a College World Series. Whereas LSU has done it as recently as 2 years ago. They're looking for their second chip in 3 years and to establish themselves as arguably a top 3 every year team in the country right now with Jay Johnson at the helm. So it's juggernauts in 2 different ways going at it. The juggernauts of the mid-major thought guy and the juggernauts of the SEC starting today. And you need to watch it. Finally,
What you watching?
Game 7, NBA Finals. That one was really easy. The Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder set me up for that one. It's Sunday, so we have some time, but I will 100% be
What you watching?
that's this weekend, and I hope you do the same. Remember, you should tune in on Monday because then you can get my reaction on all of the things I told you to watch over the weekend. We hope you have a fantastic one of those. I'm going to go hit the beach and continue to work on evening out this tan. Enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you on Monday at 7 a.m. The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. You have an electric day. Andrew Romanella saying, peace.
Thank you for listening.